Good morning, sunshines. I'm in hideout mode. Shh, it's fine. Good morning, sunshines. We're doing make a wish morning. And I've literally tried to record this about 8 different times, but every single time I don't just get like slightly disrupted, I get completely disrupted, distracted, and have to like leave the device. So we're trying again. Okay, today is our Make a Wish Day. And we're going to talk about wishing. We're going to talk about our wish. We're going to talk about Whit and John's wish. We're going to talk about your wish. We're going to talk about whether you know what to wish, if he knows what to wish for, how to wish, all the different great things. So, Whit and John was offered this make a wish opportunity, which is an incredible thing, and also kind of scary, right? Like to find out that you're a make-a-wish family is like, oh, that's different, that's interesting, that's new, that's something that feels a little bit uncomfortable, that we're grateful for, but also like, we're a make-a-wish family, what? And it's true, that's basically all the emotions I went through when we discovered that we did get this make-a-wish. So after his diagnosis back in June of 2022, we were just in this muddled state of going through life, and I was just trying to figure out things, I mean, life in general, but mostly survival and how to take care of him, and felt pretty alone in the not knowing if anybody else could even understand what we were going through. Not that I wanted somebody to commiserate with, but just to like support with what other things could be, and just anything that would be helpful. And it's about 6 months in, I ended up finding some Facebook groups. And I don't know about you guys, but I love social media for the availability to create a community to support you in the different things you're doing in your life or you're going through in your life. Whether that's on the positive side of things where you're building or creating or becoming, or on the more challenging side of things where you're going through something, a challenge, a divorce, a job change, a transition, a cancer, an ailment, a disease. And you can find people who might be able to support you more than even your current community because they've been through it. And even like your staff, your doctors, is that's what I found really with Whit and John's rare disease. So when I was in this group, one of the things that I noticed within a couple months is somebody was asking, hey, did you guys get your make a wish? And I was like, what are they talking about? Like, why would we get a make a wish? Oh, that's right. Make a Wish is a foundation that supports people and gives them hope, kids, when they have rare diseases or ailments. And it's an incredible foundation. It was started in 1980. There was this little boy who had leukemia. He was 7 years old, and he wanted to be a police officer for a day. And they made this incredible experience for him, and it gave him so much hope and joy before he passed. In addition to all of the people that supported him with the wish, if you go through and you read about the occurrence, that very first one, they were just saying how their lives were ever forever changed because they got to support this human and gather some different perspective, see what you're going through. Maybe it's not that bad. You're helping out this child who has a terminal illness and just is so full of joy and wants to be a police officer for a day. Pretty incredible. So we find out that we're one of these families, the 585,000 families who have received make a wishes ever, which is incredible. There's about 16,000 a year who are granted a wish. And it was like, what would we even think of if you were offered a make a wish? And it's like, what would you even think of? What would you come up with? And now it's interesting because this wasn't for us, but it kind of is. When you do a make a wish, sometimes for a family going through something like this, you want to look at something that affects and supports everybody in the family because everybody has been affected by Whit and John's diagnosis, of course. But it can be just for you, it can be for the family. And what they do first is we get on this discovery call to talk about what he would possibly want, right? So we schedule a discovery call and we get on, and it was literally the most anticlimactic discovery call that Make-A-Wish probably has ever had. I mean, seriously, we get on and they're like, so, they're like, tell me more about Whit and John. I'm like, okay, well, he wears pajamas every single day. They have to be certain colors. We go to chemo, then we come home. He lays on the couch on a soft pillow with a soft blanket and doesn't really like to eat, but occasionally has ice cream and whipped cream. And then we like watch some shows, take some naps, clean up barf, whatever we need to do. Sometimes we go outside for a little bit, depending on the weather, because we're not really sure how his other disease does with the weather. And then we come back inside. We don't really go very many places. This is like, okay, I didn't say it like that, but that's long story short. That's what came about, right? Because they're asking me all the different things. Does he like to go on trips? I don't know. We only go to the hospital and he barfs on the way back and forth, like 30-minute drive tops, right? Does he like to go to any like certain like play places? Well, we don't leave the house yet because he's still extremely neutropenic because that would be dangerous for him to leave and get sick. And then it's a mess for everybody. So it was this point of acknowledging we didn't even know who he was. We didn't even know who he was. He was diagnosed when he was 20 months old. This was when he was like 2.5, because they don't even do a discovery call until you're 2.5. Because how do you make a wish for somebody who's less than 2? They can't really verbalize that yet. You know, you don't really know what they want. But now he's 2.5. He's able to verbalize some things. But the only thing he's ever known is hospitals, chemo, and feeling like crap. Truthfully, those are only memories that he has. How do we know what he likes? How do we know what he wants? So at the end of the conversation, we're like, how about we table this? Let's wait until he gets through the end of chemo in October and then see how he feels, see what this little dude is like then. So we wait and we go through what I call was an exploration phase. And it's a chemo hangover phase too. So we were really learning how to support him in getting off the chemo and work through some of those different sensory issues that he had developed and help him start to eat and get out of the house and start to socialize and reduce anxiety and regulate his emotions and a lot of different things during that time, but also discovery of who he was. And it was a really fun, and it still is, exploration time that we had. Exploration of, does he like to go to parks? Okay, like at first he didn't like to swing, but like he's starting to get less and less sick. So now he likes to swing, he likes to play. We started to get him into clothes after about 3 or 4 months. And getting out of footsie pajamas was a really big deal for him because now he could wear shoes. We could go additional places. We could manage the temperature a little bit better because wearing footsie pajamas all year long, let's just face it, that's not very safe or good. So we started to get him to that. We tried going swimming. He hated it. We started going to friends' house. He really enjoyed socializing. Then we were like, let's try to see if we can leave the house. Like, would he ever like to do something like that? And we would go do these like little mini trips to a hotel, like just a local hotel, and encourage him, support him in staying somewhere that was not his own house. At first, not so much. Like he was like, oh, this is kind of fun. When are we going home? Well, when are we going home? Right. And we showed him all the different fun things that were there. We tried to get him in the pool. He was like, absolutely not. You guys are crazy. Do not put me in that tub of water. No, thank you. But we continue to work our way up around these different things. And over the next 6 months, we discovered that he does like socializing. He does like going outside. In fact, a lot of times he'll ask to not be at home. He just wants to be out doing things. He finally loves the water. He loves swimming. He likes to travel. We had the opportunity to take him on this little trip and he loved being on the plane. We got him near the ocean. He actually loved the ocean. We learned how to regulate his temperature a little bit with his other disease so we could help support that, or at least read what we should do in response to the temperature. And we feel like over 6 months of exploration, we had a little bit of answers. You know, we could tell a little bit more so who he was and what sort of wish he would like to make. So we called another discovery call and we got on the line. It was so much fun to talk to this. We have a representative and to talk to this woman. And she's like, wow, you guys have grown and come so far in the last 6 months. It's so cool to see how he developed, became, and started to step into his own, which is what life is all about. It's not just a 6 month discovery, right? It's a continuous discovery. But then they start to do these things where they help you make a wish, help you figure out what do you want. And they do things like, what would you wish to have? I wish to have blank. I wish to go blank. I wish to meet blank. I wish to be blank, and I wish to give blank. And these are gonna be tools for you in the future too, right? At the end of this conversation. But we went through those different things. What would he like to have? Where would he like to go? Does he want to be anything? Does he really want to meet anyone yet? And I pinpointed it just because after just a little bit of travel and going around, every time we go to the airport to pick up or drop off his dad, he's always like, "Mom, do we have enough money to go on a trip now? Can we go on one of those?" And he gets so excited. He just wants to be on a plane and go to a beach. And he will verbalize that as a 3.5-year-old directly, like continuously. When are we going to go to the beach? He sees a picture and he's like, "Mom, can we go back to that place? Can we go to a beach? Can we go on a plane?" So I know it's for us of where we want to go. And it's been this really neat process. And when I step back with some perspective and look at it, it makes me think about you and I, all of us, and where we're at with our own personal make a wish of life, right? Our own personal what do we want in our worlds? And if we look at the process that Whit and John went through, I pinpointed to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. You thought you couldn't count to 5 before you started this? No, I couldn't, guys. I'm counting now. 5 different steps. The first one being like, who am I? This is the pre-stage before we even like went into our call. Like, who am I? Because if I don't know who I am, how am I supposed to know what I want to make a wish for? If I don't know what my passions are, what gets me excited, what gets me out of bed in the morning, what makes me feel giddy inside, what I look forward to. And this doesn't mean like maybe it's not things that you do every day in your life, but like what gets you jacked up just thinking about X, Y, or Z, having, doing, being, giving, meeting. What makes you excited? And getting to know the person that is you. Because if I asked you to make a wish for each one of those things right now, what do you wish to have? Where do you wish to be? Where do you wish to go? Who do you wish to meet? And what do you wish to give? Could you write them down? And if you can, stop the video right here, check, write each one of those things down, tell it to the universe, and you are high five. You're rocking it. I think for a lot of us, though, we need this period of exploration, which would be phase 2 of Make a Wish. Number 1, identify, do I really know who I am? Number 2, go through some exploration of identifying, is that really who I am? Is that really what I want? Or have I just been complacent in thinking this is what is, so I'll continue to follow the path. This is what I know, and I don't like change. It's uncomfortable, so I will continue to follow the path. And the exploration phase for you could be a few weeks, it could be a few months. It really truthfully is a life. Life is the exploration phase. Life is a continuous cycle of these different 5 steps. But in exploration, allowing yourself to try new things, allowing yourself to get big, get quiet, get loud, get introspective, try on different hats and see what makes you jacked and excited. It's so much fun for me to watch women in our program go through this portion of their personal discovery because we're all so unique. Like I love to see the person who's jacked up by art and painting and theater, and then somebody else who's like, I love numbers and I love diving in, and somebody else who's like, I really enjoy writing, I love cooking, I love just sitting and being, I love socializing, I love going in deep. Like really seeing how unique we all are when we're given the space and opportunity and an invitation to identify ourselves without concern for what anybody else thinks about you, about without any fear of judgment or any assumption of how the world is going to perceive you. Like, I love Comic-Con. That is my thing. I am a Star Wars junkie. That is my thing. I love to knit. That is my thing. And really letting ourselves be our truest, authentic selves in this chapter of our lives, because that person does change, and that's cool. That's cool too. So, who am I? And then exploration, is this really me? And then phase 3 is the discovery. This is the call that we had, right? This is the call that we had to have multiple times because we had to go back through the first 2 steps to discover. And in discovery, it's basically deciding, like it's making the recognition of what do I want, taking this exploration and the who I am, and then discovering, okay, let me tell the universe what I would like. And in discovery, I really encourage you to use those 5 different prompts. What do you wish to have? Write down a list of all the things that you wish to have. Don't go big. Think about it. Who do you wish to be? And this could be like career wise, or how you want to show up to the world that way, but it could also be like, I wish to be patient, I wish to be more giving, I wish to be loving, I wish to be more present, I wish to be less angry, I wish to be that personality, the character of who your best self is, allowing for the culmination of that in your mind first, putting it on paper so it can become. Where do you wish to go? And thinking outside of the box. Maybe it's not just to the local hotel to acclimate your child or on a camping trip. Maybe it's a trip to Ireland, to Australia, somewhere you've never been. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's not your thing. But where would you like to go? Who would you like to meet? Are there different people, people that inspire you that you would like to come across? And writing that out, you never know what could happen down the road. How do you wish to give? I love this. Like in my regular um, prosperity plan, or when I think about my whole life and what I want to do, I have this vision of being able to give this large check to a family going through something like us every single year. Like, here's your $100,000 check to support you through this really difficult time where you are finding that you're no longer able to work and your life has just been turned upside down. I love the idea of seeing and visualizing that. So this is the discovery and putting those things down, which they tie into the next one, which is deciding. This discovery, it's like, okay, what is this going to be? And then the decision is, that's where you write it down. That's step number 4. It's basically like placing your order to the universe, saying, hey, okay, Make-A-Wish Foundation, here it is. These are the things I wish to have. And we're not talking about a one wish wonder here. All of these things are what I wish to have, what I wish to be, what I wish to do, who I wish to meet, what I wish to give, all the different things, right? You decide and you write this down. And the final step is the doing, taking action. And not meaning that's like this overwhelming, oh my gosh, Cal, I just had this list of 87 things and now you want me to take action on that? No, but there's little steps. Results come from consistency of little steps each and every day. And just deciding, okay, I'm going to do one thing. I see my list. This one's really important to me. I wish to be more patient. That's one of them. So every single day, I'm going to practice a count to 5 whenever I feel myself getting a little bit tense. And I'm going to do that till I feel good with that one do. And while you're doing the one do, other things are going to start to fall into place because you've already made the declaration and the decision and discovered who you are and what you want. And your brain, your RAS, is going to start to see all of these different opportunities that fall into place. And now you get to grab onto them. It's such a cool process. And I wanted to just talk with you guys today about our opportunity to all make a wish. Make-A-Wish Foundation isn't just for the 585,000 kids who have received it. Make-A-Wish Foundation isn't just for children. We all get to make wishes to become, have, do, serve more in our lives. And I thought this was a really great reminder and a little package of the process of what that looks like for all of us. The final thing that I want to say before we get off is, that the other cool part about Make-A-Wish is the opportunity for people to serve Make-A-Wish. There's been over 27,000 people who have supported other people receiving their wishes. And whether that's directly for you and a charitable organization that you're with, that you give to, and you're supporting people, because any place that you're giving, you're granting wishes. You just are. But it's also in our lives. We help people make their wishes come true all of the time, and how we show up with them, and how we show up in inspiration, in belief, in support, in a state of non-judgment, in pure love. Just love is a way that you can support people with their wishes. Maybe in inquisition. Hey, when's the last time you made a wish? I listen to this podcast and I'm working on some of my wishes. What do you wish for? It's just that invitation to start making wishes, having dreams. We all get to be a part of each other's wishes coming true when we show up to the world with our most authentic, joyful, God-given soul that we have, which is a really cool piece of this. So today I want to end with giving you something to do. We always end with a commitment. I already gave you a ton of things to do. So let's just start with the basic commitment of step number 1. Do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Could you look within and say, "Yep, I could identify these things pretty quickly." And if you want to take it through the whole activity, I strongly encourage you to do that. You can listen to podcast after podcast after podcast, and you can jump off and just be the same person who you were 15 minutes before as you are for the next 5 years. Or you could take the information that you learn and you can move forward with it with a slightly different perspective. Because remember, you guys, perspective reveals miracles. All right, that's all we have for today. I cannot believe I got through an entire 20 minutes without getting interrupted. Don't don't risk it, Cal. We just got it. We got to end right now. All right.